As some of you may know, Providence recently returned from Georgetown, Maryland, where she was hauled out for a Coast Guard inspection, some minor hull repairs, and a fresh coat of bottom paint. To give us access to Providence's hull, she had to be lifted up out of the water by means of a type of crane called a travel lift. In today's era of engine-driven winch systems, lifting a vessel of 59 tons displacement, such as Providence, is a simple matter of pressing a button. But in the 1700s, getting access to a ship's hull could be rather more difficult. Wooden ships, you see, require a great deal of maintenance to prevent the hull below the waterline from rotting away or becoming covered in marine growth. Weeds, barnacles, and the like can slow a ship down and have been a bane of mariners' existence since men first went down to the sea in ships. Writing in the 1st century A.D., Greek philosopher Plutarch had this to say: "When weeds, ooze, and filth stick upon its sides, the stroke of the ship is more obtuse and weak, and the water, coming upon this clammy matter, doth not so easily part from it." Over the centuries, a variety of solutions to this problem have been proposed and implemented. The ancient Greeks covered the hulls of their galleys in lead, and the Romans followed suit. Renaissance sailors used sacrificial wooden sheeting, in conjunction with mixtures of whale oil, sulfur, pitch, and tar. In the 1700s, the Royal Navy began covering the hulls of its vessels in protective copper sheathing, a practice that remained in use until the introduction of metal hulls. Even today, in the 21st century, many protective bottom paints still contain copper and copper oxide. But how exactly could these various protective coatings be applied? The answer, of course, is dry docks. The first known example of a dry dock dates back to the 3rd century BC in Egypt, where a Phoenician devised a plan to dig a trench under a large ship that could be filled with water, launching the vessel. Over a millennium later, in the 10th century AD, Chinese engineers developed a more advanced system for repairing the hulls of ships. Scientist Shen Kuo explains: "The two Che provinces presented to the throne 2 dragon ships, each more than 200 feet in length. After many years, their hulls decayed and needed repairs, but the work was impossible so long as they were afloat. A palace official suggested a plan. A large basin was excavated, capable of containing the dragon ships. Then, a breach was made so that the basin quickly filled with water, after which the ships were towed in. The water was pumped out so that the ships rested quite in the air, and when the repairs were complete, the water was let in again, so that the ships were afloat once more." The first European dry dock did not come about until 1494, when King Henry VII of England ordered that one be constructed at the already well-established dockyard of Portsmouth. His son, Henry VIII, would build several more dockyards equipped with dry docks, notably at Deptford and Woolwich, both of which yards remained in use well past the Napoleonic Wars. But what of vessels on long voyages with no access to dry docks, or those that must be repaired in great haste? Well, for vessels such as these, there is always careening, or the parliamentary heel. But to learn more of these risky measures, you shall have to return next week.